Hey everyone, welcome to a beginner's lesson for the 12-bar blues. So the 12-bar blues is one of the most iconic song forms in the world and in all of history. And it's a really simple song form, and it's built off of 3 chords. It's built off the 1 chord, the 4 chord, and the 5 chord. And I'm just going to walk you through each of these progressions, and then I'll tell you a little pattern that you can use to make it bluesy. I'm going to play it in the key of C, and the pattern goes like this. Okay, so that pattern is just based off this open 5th, and it's popping between the 5th interval and the 6th interval. And you notice how I'm kind of giving it that kind of giving it that little bluesy shuffle swing. Okay, so that's going to be over the 1 chord, over the 4 chord. So that's over F, and then the 5 chord, G. And I'm going to play along to the progression. I'll tell you what I'm changing the chords, and just listen out for how familiar this sounds, because so much music is written with these 12-bar blues. So here we go. So here's F, back to 1, now up to the 5, 4, 1. So that's a really basic skeleton that your left hand can use to play the blues. That sequence of chords happens over a 12-bar phrase. That's why they call it the 12-bar blues. And if you want to add some cool right hand something, you can actually get a long way with just playing kind of like an open octave thing. So I'm just playing C, G, and another C. And I'm just going to go like this. All right, so now you can build from that basic octave thing, because it's going to start to sound pretty insistent, and unless you want that, you might want to find some ways to switch it up a little bit. One thing that I really like to do is play kind of the top 2 notes of a 7th chord. So my C7 contains the top 2 notes, G and B flat, and over that pattern you can start making some pretty bluesy sounding music of just So once you get used to playing the octaves over top of your left hand pattern, you can switch things up by playing the top 2 notes of a 7th chord. So allow me to explain here. When we're in the key of C and our chord's just on the 1 chord, play G and B flat, so the top 2 notes of a C7. So that sounds like that. If you want to swap those notes when you switch to your 4 chord, play the top 2 notes of an F7 chord. So that's C and E flat. And then finally, when we get back to our 5 chord, our G, we want to play the top 2 notes of the G7. So that's D and F. So that sounds like this. So the whole progression is going to sound like this now. All right, so there you are. Now it's kind of sounding a little more bluesy. Let's put a little turnaround on the final chord. So you're going to like this. You're going to go from that 5 chord. So that gives you this kind of like bo-dum-bo, setting up again for the... So I'll show you what I'm doing. I'm going from my 5 chord to my 4 chord, down to the 1 chord, and now I'm just going to walk up from, in my bass hand, I'm going to walk up F, F sharp, G, so. And if you want to, give yourself even more punch, you can go do-do-boom, go. So I'm going to go do-dum, and then when I land my pinky on the bottom G, I'm just going to play a G7 chord in the right hand. So that progression is going to go. Up to the 4. So now you have the basic elements to play a 12-bar blues. Starts there and it ends in some crazy smoky bar somewhere with you in a cool hat and sunglasses ripping around just like this.